3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Well, let me ask one simple question to our audience tonight at Walk-Ons. Are you ready for some football? I think they are. The Boilermakers will open the 2024 season on Saturday against the Indiana State Sycamores. It'll be a noon kickoff at Ross-Ade Stadium, and we'll have all the pregame action starting at 11. We've got a lot to talk about here in the next hour. We've got head coach Ryan Walters with us. We also have Devin Mockobee, our outstanding running back from here in the state of Indiana, as well as Mo Omonode, the defensive lineman from right across the street at West Lafayette High School. So they will be joining us as well. You can, in addition to listening in, which you are right now, you can also follow along on Facebook and on X. We're on the Purdue Athletics site. If you're on Facebook, let us know where you're watching. If you have a question, we'll get that to you as well. So we got a lot to talk about, and we're going to take a commercial break first and then get right to the head coach. This is Purdue Football Live on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
The state of Indiana on this day. Here's 1st and 10, Purdue. Hudson Card on a design quarterback run. Tripped up by Moore around midfield, and that might have saved a touchdown.
Look at Hudson Card, zone read, he sees space and he takes it. Now look at Lewis Moore, if he does not grab that shoestring.
4:30 Eastern, presented by Jeep, and Hudson Card, built like a Jeep, avoids pressure in the backfield and throws it complete for Purdue. 2nd and 13. Card, complete, and a broken tackle for George Burhan, the true freshman. Purdue and Indiana. Purdue ball, 3rd down in the red zone. Card deals, end zone, touchdown, Purdue! Drew Bibber, another tight end.
Allowing Bibber to separate. You're going to see Jacob Mangum-Farrar up there in coverage, and he just loses.
Work and cheer on Purdue with a 4th and short, trying to keep this drive alive as we start the 4th quarter. A bubble pass, Devin Mockobee, touchdown Purdue!
And you're going to see Mockobee, and he knows that that defense is so locked in on Hudson Card, expecting
7 times now. Purdue starts this drive with a good hard run between the tackles. Tyrone Tracy is not done yet. Into Indiana territory. Aaron Casey takes him down. Card up the gut. Card! Touchdown! Purdue has the lead.
thing off on the right foot, and then Card calls his own number, makes Aaron Casey miss, and walks right into the end zone to take the lead, a 4-point lead, so a field goal will not do for the Hoosiers.
In the Purdue Memorial Union, where there's always validated parking and kids eat free on Tuesdays. Joined by the head coach, and Ryan, it seems like forever since we talked after that bucket win back in November. Let's recap the the ball that you had, the summer workouts that you've had in the fall practice. Did you get done what you wanted to get done here?
Absolutely. You know, it was a lot of hard work behind the scenes to get to this point, but you know, if we're recapping all the way back to January, you know, obviously the staff really hit the road hard in the recruiting process. Try to identify guys that would first fit the culture in the locker room, and then also would help us win and compete for championships in the Big Ten. And I thought it was really important to get everybody here in January so that you had, you know, full off season of getting to know each other. You look back a year ago, you know, most of the guys that we got they came in the summer, and
right.
So it's hard to know, you know, why somebody is motivated to do something, and you know what makes them tick, so to speak. So thought that was really intricate in terms of building team chemistry. So when January hit, we had a very poignant team meeting right before school started, and the guys hit the ground running. We did a lot of things to, you know, foster opportunities for organic relationships to form. You know, and to those guys' credit, they really grasped that and dove into the relationship building. And so now, like, you look at spring ball, and it was very competitive, but it was also clean, and guys were practicing the right way. Then you go to summer workouts, and guys got here a week earlier than they're supposed to. Nobody was complaining about, working out on Memorial Day and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And so you felt like the ingredients for a good team was there. And then, they worked out in the summer, did a lot of player-run practices, and Coach Rowe and his staff did a great job just of changing people's bodies. Even the guys that were here a year ago, they look different. They're more confident. They're bigger. They're stronger, faster. And then we had an incredible fall camp. Really, again, dove into trying to get to know one another with nothing to do with football. And then when we practiced, like they practiced hard. Like I had to adjust, how many periods we were practicing and how many days in a row we would go, because it was looking like game day while you were out there. And so that's you want to have to hold the reins back as a coach. You never want to have to push them to go. And this group goes, and so I'm excited to see what that looks like on Saturday.
In this day and age of football, where you've got the portal, you've got high school recruiting, you've got junior college recruiting, it's really important. I think you mentioned the chemistry in the building. That has to come also. It can't just all be from the coaches. It really has to come from within, because you guys can't basically integrate all these guys into the program by yourselves.
Exactly, and that's why I was very happy with the staff in terms of coming up with ideas and ways to get them to communicate without it feeling forced. So we took them like the escape rooms, and so they had to communicate. Had dodgeball tournaments. Took them fishing during spring ball. And then in fall camp, we had breakout sessions at the end of every day where guys got in groups of 5 and, never with the same person twice. And they talked about real life, subjects. And so that just allowed for people being vulnerable and starting to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And you get to dive into the person, not just the player. And I thought it was a great exercise. And like I said, this is about as close a team that I've been around.
Let's dive into a little bit of the personnel. Let's start at the offensive line, because I think of all the positions on the team, as you look at what's different from a year ago. Last year, you're kind of scraping at the end of the season to make sure you had 5 healthy bodies. This is a much deeper and I think more talented offensive line.
Yeah, it absolutely is. We added obviously a bunch of offensive linemen in the offseason. But we also, had our, we got Gus is in my opinion, he's the best center in the Big Ten, and he's back and had a full year of being healthy and working out. Marcus Bowe got healthy coming off the ankle injury, and really attacked the rehab and embraced, his role as a leader. Musa is a bigger, stronger, more confident version of himself. JG is sort of embraced his role and gotten stronger, and then you add guys like Corey Stewart and Josh Sales and Joey Tanona and DJ Wingfield. Like that, it just helps with the depth and the girth that you need up front.
Let's talk to also right next to that offensive line, you got the tight ends, which might be one of the more talented positions, and I think back to being a healthy position again.
Yeah, absolutely. Max Clare, you saw a glimpse of what he's capable of in those first 3.5 games. He's healthy and stronger, faster. Drew Bibber, he's been sort of dinged up since I've been here, and we got a new athletic trainer in AJ, and his staff I thought really did a good job of breaking down what was going on with him from its foundation, and started attacking it that way, and then didn't push him back to return until he was really ready to go. And so now you see a healthy Bib out there just making a ton of plays in fall camp. He's 245 pounds and is physical. And then you got George Burren, who sort of came on and had his his welcome to college football against Indiana. And, he was 219 pounds last year. He's 240 now. Like it's 6'6", 240 and fast. And so You know, couple that with Fertney, who's you know, your utility guy, and you know, your special teams demon. Like, that's a good group, and they've excelled in fall camp.
All right, we'll hit more of the offensive side and flip over to defense when we come back. This is Purdue Football Live on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
Win if one of these teams can make it.
On 2nd and 8, Luke Altmaier. Look out, he's under pressure. He lost the football. It'll be touchdown, Purdue.
Dial this one up. You're just going to see the cornerback come into your screen. Untouched, unblocked, and again, as you can see, he swipes at the ball as well. This Ryan Walters defense wanted to come in, wanted to create more turnovers.
Team, not just the offense, but the Purdue team. And a really slow start to last week's game. They were better in the second half. As Tyrone Tracy knocked out of bounds in the Big Ten West clash. As Hudson Card has time, has a receiver over the middle. He finds it's a 3rd and 7. Card looking long. And it's caught.
All the big-time receivers.
Time they find a spot through, and a big shoulder from Dylan Downing. Touchdown.
Inside zone play out the front side. Actually, that was a counter play. And again, look how he physically.
Just the 2nd penalty today. Charged to Purdue. Card, end zone, open, touchdown. Garrett Miller and Purdue.
Looking right down the middle of the field, wide open. Here he is right here. You're just going to see him take an inside release and go down the middle of the field. He gets lost in the zone and gets behind the necessarily wants to run the football, but he does have that ability.
Mockobee, touchdown.
To a run play from Devin Mockobee, getting in the end zone.
And they give him the ball, and he gets in the end zone. Back now, a 44-19 lead here late in the 4th.
A huge win.
Season is presented by Purdue Global. Earn a degree you'll be proud of with Purdue Global, Purdue's online university for working adults and the preferred online university degree provider of the Guild and Team USA Learning Network. Start your comeback today at purdueglobal.edu. We're here at Walk-Ons in West Lafayette. We'll be here throughout the season except for a week from tonight because it's a bye week. We're going to take the program south, and we'll be at Wolfie's in Carmel, and we'll have more information on that a little bit later on. We're going to get to a couple of questions here, but let me go back to the offensive side. Your receiver position, I think, is talented, but I think we would have to say, at least in game situations, untested.
Yeah, you know, obviously you got Jerron Tibbs who played a little bit last year, but it is talented. You know, you got Jamal Edrin. You know, he is game tested. You know, he played a lot at FAU, and we were counting on him to produce a lot for us a year ago, and obviously had the injury that second day of camp. But he's back and healthy and motivated and focused and has made a ton of plays in camp. You know, then you got true freshman and Shamar Rigby, who is another talented young man. You know, you got Leland Smith, who's 6'4" and 220 and can run like the wind. C.J. Smith, who's 6'2", and you're probably the fastest person I've seen in person. So it is a talented group, and I'm excited to watch those guys light it up this year.
Speaking of talented, you got two pretty good ones at running back, Devin Mockobee, who's going to join us a little bit later in the show, and then you brought a guy in from Illinois, and Reggie Love. Yeah,
you know, you got two proven Big Ten running backs that you know, it is hard to carry the full load in the Big Ten, you know, by yourself, and so I think having two guys that can you know, carry that load and really produce for you on game day is huge. Obviously, Mock has had a heck of a career here and only continues to get better. We call him the Renaissance man. You know, I knew he was a mechanic, but I found out during fall camp he can also play the guitar and sing a little bit. So maybe when he gets up here, you give him a mic and get him going.
We're going to save the quarterback for last. And Hudson Card, had a good year last year. I think had he been healthier, he would have been more productive. He's healthy now. What's different with Hudson Card in 2024?
Well, like you said, he's healthy. That's a big deal because when he was healthy last season, he played well. He's a more confident, more comfortable, more motivated, more mature version of himself. He obviously has the arm talent and the athleticism to wow you on plays, and now he's got a better understanding of what we're doing schematically. He's taking ownership over the offense. He's also really embraced his role as a leader. It just naturally comes with that position, but now that he knows his teammates, he knows what's expected of him, and he knows it's his show, he's really flourished as a leader.
All right, we got a boiler up from Aaron on Facebook. He'll be spotting
What's up,
for me
Aaron?
on Saturday. John from Murrieta, California. He's asking, are you anticipating the increased team speed and quickness at the skill positions and overall team defense? You mentioned about
Absolutely,
your strength
yeah.
coach. It's got to make a difference on the field.
That makes a difference, and you add a couple pieces that are fast. That makes a difference as well. Got 2 corners out of the portal that are really, really fast and athletic. You added some edge rushers that got good get off the ball, and still got Dylan Thieneman back there. And a guy that I've really been impressed with is Antonio Stevens.
Yeah.
He is 6'2" and 217, and he can run and is physical and done a great job communicating. All fall camp, and I'm really excited to see him play this year.
And I think coming off a devastating injury a couple of seasons ago, we weren't sure he'd be back on the field, and he's back, and I think he's ready for a big season.
Oh yeah, I'm really, really proud of his progress and just the way he's approached, his role, and he's also a leader in the locker room, and I'm really, really proud of him.
All right, we'll have more with the coach in 2 minutes from Purdue Football Live on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
Keene hit and sacked back at the 5-yard line. Kadron Jenkins with the sack. Williams come up with some big third down conversions that time of the passing game. As Keene dances around, but he can dance.
Right tackle David Wallabar out for the year. 3rd and 5. Schrader. Spinning. Schrader. Jimmy. No. Tripped. Devoured.
And get pressure down low from number 5 on the edge and see if they can hold up with coverage on the right side.
Mordecai with time. It is intercepted. Going the other way. At midfield. It's Alessandro.
Every time, and they make their adjustments from there.
Here's Hill, and that throw hits right off the face of his receiver, bounces up, and it is intercepted. I guess he was lined up in the perfect spot. Talking about Thieneman.
Leader in sacks even after missing action last week. Sorsby on 3rd down, it's intercepted. Dylan Thieneman nearly makes Sorsby miss and is pushed out of bounds inside the 15-yard line.
Not official yet, but you can book it. Now you're going to see Sorsby under pressure. He's looking to his left. There's 2 receivers in the same place. That is never the right idea. And Dylan Thieneman knows that this is just not the way that they drew it up. There is never a situation where 2 receivers should be that close. Sorsby wishes he had that one back.
Ironically, Indiana netted 2 yards even with the penalty because it took place so far downfield. 2nd and 3. Sorsby, and was it intercepted? No, it was incomplete. Kobe was the intended receiver.
What a play by Cam Allen. I mean, in the hip pocket, gets that head around and just pops that ball out into that left hand, and then that right knee hits his forearm.
They got a lot of guys who can rush the quarterback.
Live at Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, where there's validated parking and kids eat free on Tuesdays. I mentioned a different location next week. All of you in the Indianapolis and Carmel Westfield area, we'd love to see you next Thursday. We'll be live from Wolfie's on Keystone Way in Carmel for Purdue Football Live. Coach Walters will join us at 6:05, just as he did tonight. It's a great show. We had a great show and turnout last year, and we'll look for more of the same this year. For those of us who can't come in person next week, we'll still be live here on the Purdue Radio Network and the Purdue Athletics Facebook page. Let's talk defense. And I mentioned earlier to Kadrian Jenkins and Dylan Thieneman. We're going to be talking about them all season, and they certainly would deserve their own shows. Give me a couple of guys that may be bubbling under the surface that might be ready for breakout seasons in 24.
You know, I obviously talked about Antonio Stevens. Kendrick Breedlove is a guy that you'll see a lot of. Will Helt, Mo, who's here. He's at an unbelievable camp. Jeffrey Imba has gotten like exponentially better. You talk about a guy that's 6'4", 315 pounds, and hadn't been playing football that long.
Right.
He grew up in France, so just him understanding the game and why you have to do certain things. The light bulb has gone off, and he's looking like a real guy. Sheeta Sala is a guy we got from Boston College that is doing well off the edge. Same with C.J. Madden. And then Teron Grant. He's the true freshman. That's, for a corner, he's 6'2", 196 pounds. Like, that's a big corner, and he can really run and smart and tough and physical, and sky's the limit for him.
One of the things that you talked about being disappointed in last year's defense was the big play. What will stop the big play from happening this year?
The better technique, fundamentals, and me not being frustrated and calling aggressive blitzes in inopportune times.
All right. That's a fair answer.
Yeah.
Let's talk kicking game, because, again, that's something that I think in terms of the actual kicking,
Yep.
punting and the field goal kicking is going to have to be better than it was a year ago.
Absolutely, and it will be. Our punter has done a great job and really has a talented leg, and Spencer and Ben Freehill have kind of been battling it out, and both have been doing. Obviously Ben has gotten better than he was a year ago, and Spencer was one of the best kickers in the country in high school for a reason. So. I'm excited to see those guys.
Got a question here from Anthony. He asks, how does having Indiana State for the first game and then a bye week, does it affect how you approach the season as a whole? Has it affected your fall training camp?
It didn't affect camp, but it has helped. When the schedule first came out, I was like, dang, that's kind of a bummer. You know what I mean? You play a game, you have all this build up, you go play a game, you got to wait again. But we got guys that we are really counting on that are dinged up right now. Nyland Green, C.J. Smith, Corey Stewart. Those are three starters that we are counting on to be guys for us. And so to have an extra week, or now an extra 2 weeks of rehab and getting healthy, right before you play a team like Notre Dame is definitely beneficial. So I feel like the football gods have blessed us with that in the schedule. I also think it's a good time. There's always going to be things that you need to harp on and work on after that first contest.
Right.
And so to have a week to really dive into, what went right, what went wrong, how do we fix it, what do we need to do to improve, that's also a benefit.
You have to be excited, Ryan, about the fact that you're going to play. I'm not sure officially if we're sold out. I know we got to be pretty close to sold out for this week, and then you are sold out for the Notre Dame game, coming off a season that, from a wins and loss standpoint, wasn't what you wanted. The fans came out last year, and the fans are coming out again this year.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying it since last year. Like, the Purdue fan base and the West Lafayette community have blown me away. That's one of the main reasons why I've really fallen in love with this place, this job, is because of the support. And I don't know if there's another program in the country that has sold out season tickets coming off a 4-8 season like that. That doesn't happen, not in today's day and age of results, and you want results right now. So they are passionate and proud of this place, as are we, and it's just extra motivation to go put a good product out on the field so that they can be proud of, because they're proud people, and I'm blessed to be in the position I'm in.
All right, we're going to give the coach a break. When we come back, we'll hear from running back Devin Mockobee. This is Purdue Football Live.
Along here on 3rd and goal. Tracy cuts back. Tracy dives forward. Touchdown, Purdue. Can't get a first down at the 1. It's Mockobee, cuts, scores! Touchdown, Purdue!
Mockobee's back in there now on 2nd and goal. Card, flushed, has to get away. Now he's going to look to run for it. Card is in! Touchdown, Purdue!
Running the quarterback wouldn't be better.
It is Tracy. Too easy. Touchdown, Purdue.
Box. Now you're populating the line of scrimmage. They should have an opportunity here.
Well, Tracy, look at him go. Touchdown.
He turns everything to the left. Oh, that's beautiful.
Time winding down in the third.
Nice.
Card also losing time, but has some room to run.
He got it.
Look out, he's got speed. Pylon time, touchdown.
All the smoke. He wants all the big-time receivers.
Time, they find a spot through, and a big shoulder from Dylan Downing. Touchdown. Just the second penalty today. Charge to Purdue. Card, end zone, open, touchdown. Garrett Miller and Purdue.
See right there, I don't think he necessarily wants to run the football, but he does have that ability.
Mockobee, touchdown.
To a run play from Devin Mockobee, getting in the end zone. Trying to get it.
He wants it. And they give him the ball, and he gets in the end zone. The officials are on to it, though.
They sure are. And now that clock rolls. Card. Trying to step up in the pocket. Now he escapes. Eyes downfield. Has a target. It's Sheffield. Down the sideline he goes. And in for the touchdown. How about Hudson Card?
It's the pocket movement, and he's had some bad plays doing this so far in this game, but not this time. He's sneaky. He's slippery. He keeps the eyes up and puts the ball right on the 8.
Got him out of the state of Texas, and here he is. Now Card, nice move.
Got him.
Card looking downfield. Card, a touchdown. That's why you go get him. Deion Burks was behind the defense.
Buys a little time. He sees his guy out there. He throws as far as he can.
Another run. Tracy slips out of there, leaving a pile behind him and squeaks through there. Tyrone Tracy snaps the shutout.
Got right through it. But patient, now burst.
Look at all that carnage behind him.
Yeah, exactly.
First in.
To thank and recognize members of the Black and Gold Club who support Purdue Athletics through their sponsorship at the highest level. Black and Gold Club members include Indiana Packers, Molson Coors, Purdue Federal Credit Union, Purdue Global, State Farm Insurance, Toyota, and Wabash. Each are great partners of Purdue Athletics. Boilermakers and Indiana State coming up Saturday at noon. Our broadcast will start at 11 o'clock, and we'll be calling the exploits of all Boilermakers, including Devin Mockobee, junior from Boonville, Indiana, who's joined us on the show tonight. Honorable mention All Big Ten selection last year from the coaches and media. When you look back at the 2023 campaign, what did you feel? Give yourself a little self-evaluation. How did you feel you grew as a running back?
Self-eval, I think there was definitely a lot of growth that I had going through the season, especially starting out with, I put a lot of expectations on myself, so coming in and actually being able to not recover but just work through the things throughout the year that I was able to just figure out and become more of a whole running back and be more consistent, things like that. So I'm definitely excited to come to this year for sure.
You got to be excited to see the Sycamores on Saturday because you made your debut against Indiana State in 2022, 78 yards rushing and a touchdown. Not a lot of people had heard about Devin Mockobee at the collegiate level until that game. But you come with a pretty good pedigree from high school, not just in your football days, but Indiana State long jump champion and second in the state in 110-meter hurdles. How did the track interaction help your football play?
I definitely think with track, I ran hurdles and I did field events, so it definitely helped just something to do with the off season, just staying engaged with the school, and actually because I just love sports in general, so I was just a 3-sport athlete in high school, and it just helps with my explosiveness coming through like long jump with the legs and stuff like that. So I don't know, it just helps keep everything in line.
Last year you had a new system with Graham Harrell. You're in your second season with that now. How much easier is it to adapt and to understand what's going on that side?
Yeah, you know, going through having a scheme for 2 years and not having to deal with a whole team of people having to relearn a whole new scheme all at one time, you know, it's really easy to have people that already have that frame of reference and already are settled into the system a little bit. So any new guys that we have, we can just sort of ease them into it really, really nicely.
You got a new guy in the running back position with you, Reggie Love from Illinois. What has he brought to you, and contrast maybe your style with his?
You know, Reggie, I love him. He's a really good guy. So I think he's another really explosive back, but he's also super shifty. So I think he's a complete back in and of himself. So some things that you saw last year with like me and Tyrone, I think you're going to have the same kind of effect, like 1-2 effect that we say this year, the same that you saw last year.
Speaking of Tyrone Tracy, he was a 5th-round draft choice in the New York Giants, made the team. You've had a chance to talk to him. What's that interaction been like, and what's he telling you about football at the next level?
You know, he's just telling me about all the, I don't know, just like the cool stuff of actually being able to get to that new level, because that's a dream that all of us have, you know. So having a guy in the room that we were with each other every day, we're basically family. So seeing him make that transition, it was just really cool, and we're all really happy for him for doing it.
You've had a lot of rushing touchdowns, 1 touchdown catch, and it was last year in the bucket game, and it was a pretty big play early in the 4th quarter. You were as wide open as is possible to be on the football field. How much went through your mind as that pass is floating towards you?
You know, I swear those are probably the hardest ones to catch, because you have all the time in the world to think about it. So that ball's up in the air. It looks like it's coming down in slow motion. The only thing I can think to myself is don't drop it.
Don't drop it. Yeah. Seth Morales said the same thing about that pass he caught from Drew Brees a few minutes ago. It flashes through your mind as much as you don't want it to. How are you a better running back now than when you came here a couple of years ago?
You know, I definitely think a lot of emphasis that I put on myself this year was putting on weight. So, I mean, coming in January, weighing 187, now I'm up to 207, so I've gained 20 pounds since last season. I think that's really going to help me just as a whole, and as a Big Ten running back, not having to deal with that being undersized, and I can actually play how I want to play and not have to run away from people, you know.
Yeah, and I think people really, especially at the running back position, underestimate the pounding that you take on a daily and a game-by-game basis.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's definitely like getting in a few car crashes every day, so it's definitely not the most fun thing in the world to get hit, but it's worth it.
Talk about running out the Tiller Tunnel last year for the first time, and now the fact that looks like we're going to have pretty close to sellouts probably for most of the season.
Yeah, you know, especially with the tunnel and how we finish up the stadium, it creates a crazy environment to be able to play in. And, you know, it feels like a surreal, like last year it felt so surreal coming out and having a brand new stadium and all the people selling out. And we love the support, having to be able to, no matter what the situation is, that stadium's always going to be full.
All right, tell us, Devin, what can folks expect when they see the Boilermakers on Saturday and throughout the season? What do you think of this 2024 Purdue football team?
This 2024 football team, I think you're going to see a lot more disciplined guys, a lot more culture that we've been able to cultivate as a unity and as a single unit, and not just a bunch of separate parts trying to play by themselves. So I think you're going to see more of a team fighting for something together versus a bunch of parts playing their own individual game.
Let's get that mock train on the tracks on Saturday, and good luck against Sycamores. Have a great season.
Thank you.
All right, Mo Omonode will check in with us next. This is Purdue Football Live on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
State of Indiana on this day. Here's 1st and 10, Purdue. Hudson Card on a design quarterback run. Tripped up by Moore around midfield, and that might have saved a touchdown.
Look at Hudson Card, zone read. He sees space and he takes it. Now look at Lewis Moore. If he does not grab that shoestring.
4:30 Eastern, presented by Jeep. And Hudson Card, built like a Jeep, avoids pressure in the backfield and throws it complete for Purdue. 2nd and 13. Card, complete. And a broken tackle for George Burhan. The true freshman, Purdue and Indiana. Purdue ball, 3rd down in the red zone. Card deals, end zone, touchdown, Purdue! Drew Bibber, another tight end.
Allowing Bibber to separate. You're going to see Jacob Mangum-Farrar up there in coverage, and he just loses.
Work and cheer on Purdue with a 4th and short, trying to keep this drive alive as we start the 4th quarter. A bubble pass. Devin Mockobee! Touchdown, Purdue!
And you're going to see Mockobee, and he knows that that defense is so locked in on Hudson Card, expecting 7 times now.
Purdue starts this drive with a good hard run between the tackles. Tyrone Tracy is not done yet. Into Indiana territory. Aaron Casey takes him down. Card up the gut. Card! Touchdown! Purdue has the lead.
Thing off on the right foot, and then Card calls his own number, makes Aaron Casey miss, and walks right into the end zone to take the lead, a 4-point lead, so a field goal will not do for the Hoosiers.
Welcome back to Purdue Football Live. We're live at Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, where there's validated parking and kids eat free on Tuesdays. Time for the Pro Boilers feature, where we look at how former Purdue student athletes are doing in their professional sports careers. Pro Boilers is presented by Indiana Kitchen Premium Pork Products. Get to know us at indianakitchen.com. Both our Pro Boilers and Indiana Kitchen are boiler made. Purdue had a couple of draft picks in the 2024 NFL Draft, and both stuck with their respective teams. Tyrone Tracy Jr., who we just talked about in the last segment, was a 5th-round draft choice of the New York Giants. That's the highest running back for Purdue since Mike Allstott was drafted in the 2nd round in 1996. So we're looking forward to seeing Tyrone carry the football this year. And Sanusi Kane was a draft pick of the Baltimore Ravens, and he was the first Purdue draftee by the Ravens, and he also has made the team. So we'll see him on defense and probably on special teams as well. Joined by junior defensive lineman Mo Omonode. I mentioned with Devin, let's give Mo a hand. I mentioned earlier with Devin his track background and how it helped him. You were a wrestler in high school. How did that help you in your football?
It helped a lot because, you know, O-line, D-line is all close quarters, and wrestling, that's all it is. It's figuring out how to get leverage. You know, people might be bigger. You figure out how to drop your hips and move them, and it just helps you keep leverage, stay low. And I think it's overall has made me a better football player, helped me with my balance too.
Wrestling is the overall, I mean, it's the number one-on-one sport. It's just you and the other guy in the ring.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you do learn a little bit about leverage. It's always interesting when you have a player who's near their hometown and you decide, okay, am I going to go play for my hometown team or am I going to go somewhere else? Was it always your goal growing up to be a Boilermaker?
Nah, it wasn't, but like as I got older and got more into football, like it was my dream. I want to play basketball. You know, I only grew 6 foot, but I got older, started watching Purdue football, and then when I got contacted for the first time by Purdue, it was a dream for me. It was something I never saw coming, and I was just excited. And since then, yeah, it's been my dream. I've just been living the dream being at Purdue.
And it's a pretty good lineage. I mean, you go back to Chike O'Keefer and George Karloftis. I mean, you know, Mo Omonode is the next guy on that list, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I played with George my freshman year.
Yeah. So
seeing George do it, and man, like he was dominant in high school.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, I played O-line against him a couple times. I remember my first practice, he had picked me up. So just seeing George make it to this level and then even make it to the next one, it inspired me to follow in his footsteps a little bit.
Talk about your growth then in West Lafayette in football. When did you realize, hey, I've got the ability, I'm going to be able to play at the Division I level?
I really felt like that probably after we won state, being young and playing against like George and Tavion, you know, that team was full of dudes on defense. I felt like for being young, I could hold my own up enough. You know, they would get the best of me, but that was them. So growing up, I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Well, that's all right. I was just talking about when you realized you're going to be able to make this jump into Division I and play at this level.
I believed it, yeah. I'd say after that state run. And then, you know, I just kept getting stronger through the years. A couple offers that came in, and it just inspired me to work hard. And, you know, a lot of people told me I couldn't do it at this level, and that just pushed me to work harder.
I mentioned with Devin, he's in the second year with Graham Harrell's system. Now you're in the second year with Coach Walters and Coach Kane. What's different up front? What's different from you from a scheme standpoint in general terms?
We got a few different things coming. You know, we've worked on some more 4-down things. We still have our base defense, but I think really is the biggest things has been the growth in the defense. You know, everybody's who's here has been able to learn, you know, coming in from the portal or has been here for the second year.
Right.
So everybody's more comfortable in what we're doing, and we know the scheme better. Rather than just our position, we know the scheme better, and it's going to allow us to play faster.
All right, now being the hometown kid, how much demand do you get for tickets every week? Do you have to have somebody handle that side for you?
Nah, I really don't get too much. A lot of people, you know, they're just already Purdue fans. They kind of just come to the games. They're already going to tailgate. Been doing it for 20-plus years now.
All right, we're less than 48 hours away from kickoff. I'll ask you the same question I asked Devin. What's going to be different? What can people expect when the Boilermakers hit the field this Saturday and every Saturday this fall?
Physical, fast, and precise.
I like that answer. That was physical, fast, and precise.
Yes, sir. That's what y'all can expect. Just being with Coach Rowe and the whole strength staff, been able to be with him for 2 years now. You know, the improvement in everybody. We take some pictures from like before and after pictures almost, and just the change in everybody's body and even the change in mentality.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a chip on their shoulder. We've seen what people said about us, and they just don't know what we know. Coach Walter says all the time, they don't know what we know.
Well, I think Mo Omonode is going to have a big junior year. I do know that, and I thank you for being here. Good luck this season.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, too. Thank you for having me.
All right. When we come back, we'll have the coach with us again. This is Purdue Football Live on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
Win if one of these teams can make it.
On 2nd and 8, Luke Altmaier. Look out. He's under pressure. He lost the football. It'll be touchdown, Purdue.
Dial this one up. You're just going to see the cornerback come into your screen. Untouched, unblocked, and again, as you can see, swipes at the ball as well. This Ryan Walters defense wanted to come in, wanted to create more turnovers.
Team, not just the offense, but the Purdue team. Had a really slow start to last week's game. They were better in the second half. As Tyrone Tracy knocked out of bounds in the Big Ten West clash. As Hudson Card has time, has a receiver over the middle. He finds it's a 3rd and 7. Card looking long, and it's caught.
All the big-time receivers.
This time they find a spot through, and a big shoulder from Dylan Downing. Touchdown!
Inside zone play out the front side. Actually, that was a counter play. And again, look how he physically.
Just the second penalty today. Charged to Purdue. Card, end zone, open, touchdown. Garrett Miller and Purdue.
Right down the middle of the field, wide open. Here he is right here. You're just going to see him take an inside release and go down the middle of the field. He gets lost in the zone and gets behind the necessarily wants to run the football, but he does have that ability.
Mockobee, touchdown!
To a run play from Devin Mockobee, getting in the end zone.
And they give him the ball, and he gets in the end zone. Back now a 44-19 lead here late in the 4th.
The 2024 Purdue football season is presented by Purdue Global. Earn a degree you'll be proud of with Purdue Global, Purdue's online university for working adults and the preferred online university degree provider of the Guild and Team USA Learning Network. Start your comeback today at purdueglobal.edu. Ryan, I mentioned in the Pro Boilers segment, Tyrone Tracy and Sanusi Kane both sticking in the NFL. You got to be proud to having those guys now representing Purdue in the NFL.
Absolutely. You know, those guys, you know, they went about their business the right way, so it's no surprise that they're having the success they're having.
Every year we have new rule changes in college football, and we got a couple this year. One I think the fans won't see, but certainly it's going to have a big impact. That is, you have helmet communications now on the field. Can you explain how that will happen and when that will shut off before every play?
Yeah, so you'll have, you know, they'll have one player on offense, one player on defense on the field at a time that has a mic in their helmet that myself on defense can communicate, or Graham on offense can communicate. and the communication is allowed from when the whistle is blown and then till 15 seconds are on the play clock, and then obviously once the ball is snapped, it shuts off again. So it'll be good offensively, you know, for teams that huddle and you know, be able to communicate with the quarterback about what's going on, and defensively to, you know, hide signals at times, and you know, give quick reminders about, you know, different formations that they're seeing on the field.
Will it be the same guy then on offense and defense? I mean, you're going to have the same guy for every game with the communication?
Yeah.
Okay. And that, by the way, it all stemmed from some Stein stealing that went on.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you got to.
I think it was an interview here.
I believe it was.
Kind of catapulted. Woke up the next morning and I was on the ticker. I'm like, oh, what's going on? Just telling the truth.
Speaking of technology, I also understand now you can use tablets on the sideline,
yeah,
which you couldn't use before.
Yeah, which is, you know, I actually was against the use of video on the sidelines. You know, I think it kind of takes away from the coaching aspect.
Yeah.
Part of the deal on game days is to be able to see what's happening in real time and then try to make adjustments. But now you got, you know, anybody can watch film and, oh, this is what happened.
Right.
Obviously, we'll utilize it because it's available, but it does kind of take away the creativity and the intelligence of coaches on game day.
The other change that we'll see is it's called a 2-minute timeout. It's similar to the 2-minute warning in the NFL, where there will be a timeout at both the second and fourth quarters. So that will change your strategy a little bit, and it will save you, especially if you're behind late in the game. It gives you an extra timeout.
Yeah, and then the rules go back to college rules after the 2-minute warning, which is, again, like why people make these rules and change it, I don't know.
They have to justify the trips in the offseason.
Exactly. You know, so like after the 2-minute warning, the clock will stop after first down until the referee winds it. You know, the clock will stop when you go out of bounds. But before the 2-minute warning, it's NFL.
Right.
So it's a mixture right now. It's a hodgepodge of college and NFL.
And there are some other changes, but I think those are probably the two that people are going to see the most.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. We'll have final comments from the head coach when we come back. The final segment of Purdue Football Live is next on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
Keene hit and sacked back at the 5-yard line. Kadron Jenkins with the sack. Williams come up with some big third down conversions that time of the passing game. As Keene dances around, but he can dance.
Right tackle David Wallabar out for the year. 3rd and 5. Schrader. Spinning. Schrader. Jimmy. No. Tripped. Devoured.
And get pressure down low from number 5 on the edge and see if they can hold up with coverage on the right side.
Mordecai with time. It is intercepted. Going the other way at midfield. It's Alessandro.
Every time, and they make their adjustments from there.
Here's Hill, and that throw hits right off the face of his receiver, bounces up, and it is intercepted. I guess he was lined up in the perfect spot. Talking about Thieneman.
Leader in sacks even after missing action last week. Sorsby on 3rd down, it's intercepted. Dylan Thieneman nearly makes Sorsby miss and is pushed out of bounds inside the 15-yard line.
Not official yet, but you can book it. Now you're going to see Sorsby under pressure. He's looking to his left. There's 2 receivers in the same place. That is never the right idea. And Dylan Thieneman knows that this is just not the way that they drew it up. There is never a situation where 2 receivers should be that close. Sorsby wishes he had that one back.
Ironically, Indiana netted 2 yards even with the penalty because it took place so far downfield. 2nd and 3. Sorsby. And was it intercepted? No, it was incomplete. Kobe was the intended receiver.
What a play by Cam Allen. I mean, in the hip pocket, gets that head around and just pops that ball out into that left hand, and then that right knee hits his forearm. They got a lot of.
Welcome back to the final segment of Purdue Football Live, the Boilermakers and Sycamores on Saturday. One other question here, asking what role that guys like Mockobee and Omonode play for the transfers that come into the program. We talked a little bit earlier about that, but it's really important that you've got these internal leaders to really help make these transitions work.
Absolutely. You know, Mock and Mo are they're our kind of guys. They are, you know, stellar in the classroom, in the community, and on the football field. And they do things in the program the way we want them done. And so those guys are great examples and great leaders for, you know, newcomers to sort of follow those guys. And so they're also very personable and embrace, you know, their teammates. And I think, you know, having those core type of guys has led to a fluid and easy transition for some of the newcomers.
Quickly about the Sycamores on Saturday. They've struggled offensively a little bit the last couple of seasons, but they've got a talented running back in Ples Lawrence. He's a local kid from Kokomo. You know, the one thing I looked at, Ryan, they've got 58 kids from the state of Indiana on that roster, and you know this game Saturday means a lot to them.
Absolutely. You know, anytime, like, one, obviously it's in-state, but two, anytime you have like an FCS opponent that plays a Power 4 conference, you're going to get their best shot because of all the underlying stories, right? And so I'm looking forward to a competitive and physical game. And like I said, I'm just excited to go line it up against somebody else. I'm tired of seeing our guys hit each other and being nervous at the end of every practice.
Understood. On the defensive side, Indiana State, their middle linebacker, number 35, Garrett Olendike, is a preseason FCS All-American. They've got a safety who's a preseason first-team Missouri Valley Conference. So there's some talented guys on that side of the ball, and they were able to create some turnovers last year.
Yeah, you know, they also have, that's probably their more experienced side of the ball. They got a lot of returning starters on defense, and like you said, they were ball hawks and played a physical brand of ball. So, you know, we're looking forward to the challenge and just excited to go compete.
Well, I think a lot of people are looking forward to this 2024 season. And, you know, we talk about the schedule and we talk about the difficulty, but I think people are going to find Purdue's a little bit more difficult team to play than they expect in this season.
Absolutely.
All right. Ryan, good luck on Saturday. Let's play some ball.
I know. I can't wait. Boil her up.
All right. I want to thank our engineer tonight, Wes Scott, and our producer, Morgan Woods. Video produced by McCarty, Cummings & Company. We appreciate them. Again, we'll be back at Wolfie's 1 week from tonight. That'll be at 6:05, and then back here at Walk-Ons in 2 weeks before the Notre Dame game. It'll be Purdue against Indiana State. Hall of Famer Mark Herman will make his color analyst debut on Saturday, so we look forward to that. It'll be an 11 a.m. start time. So, for the head coach, for Devin Mockobee, for Mo Omonode, this is Tim Newton. Thank you for joining us. We'll talk to you next week and see you at Ross-Ade Stadium on Saturday. Good night, everybody.